You see this? Can you see it? This is a product review. I can get it in there. Okay, aloe vera. Okay, so that's a product review. I want you to look at my face.
Okay, dog.
See, we're going to talk about my eyes. What happened to the light? Okay, you see these gray hairs. They started decreasing, then I ran out of vitamins and they're increasing again. You see my skin like looks kind of very dry and I don't know, like paper thin or something. I have not been eating coconut and whatever chemical they were giving me, it really does break down your bone. I mean, it shriveled up my bone, made my head all small and everything. So we're still alive, praise God. Authentication. Mm-hmm. Okay. Missing, not missing. This is what the real Aileen Atkins looks like. I have several doppelgangers, but I have not gotten my dental work done, so a couple of my doppelgangers have, but they're not me. So this is the ugly truth right here. All right, so I have cheekbones, Upshaw cheekbones. So, Daddy Upshaw, where are you? I'd like to meet you. Even if you're an evil genius, even if you are not an earth angel. You bore an earth angel, so I want to meet you. Okay, so this is what I look like. And I don't know why the sockets of my eyes look like they're sinking. That's weird to me. Okay, so I don't know whether I need to change my water source. I went online and I started researching the Qigong. They have a website where you can practice to flush the lymph, what do you call it, endocrine system to get things back. So I've been doing these little exercises. I think it's nutrition. We're still out in the world. And when I say out in the world, we're not back home at 6010 North 32nd Street. We have been in this house for about 18 months, since July 28th of 2024, thanks to Johnny B. Smith Sr. and Johnny B. Smith Jr., even though there's some bozo that maybe put me in a fraudulent marriage is trying to lie and get the neighbors to lie to say that they are taking care of me. Now, who would do something like that? What classless bozo in a man suit would do that? Divine creator of this fine universe. Let's go through some names. Who is it? Thomas Stewart? Yeah. So I guess Thomas Stewart is trying to pretend like he's taking care of me. Let's keep asking. Abraham Botta Jones? Nope. Donnie Dwayne Flowers? Nope. John Isaac Frazier? Nope. Lawrence Alexander Cambridge? Nope. John Waldron? Nope. Clarence Joseph Washington Jr.? Nope. So, what's that man name? Okay, well, let's ask Josie Thomas? Nope. Okay, so Thomas Stewart. So, why is Thomas Stewart so want to be prevalent in my life? He stole something. My daughter's birthday, February 25th of 2003, we were on the bus, Heartline, bus 34, going towards 19th Street, and a large GMC vehicle, maybe it was a Yukon, or like a Yukon, a large GMC pulled out, and the bus had to hit the brakes hard, and it thrusted both of us forward, and my knees were really achy. But I'm not really into the whole suing thing. Once I learned spiritual law a little bit, I decided, nah. God can give you far more money by doing the right thing and not letting these doctors hack on you, cut on you, and, you know, be all in your body. So I just got off the bus. And even though my knees were throbbing, I said, God will make up the difference. A Caucasian teenager came in and said, "Hi, you all aren't going to go to the hospital? You aren't hurt? You aren't damaged?" I said, "My knees are throbbing, but I'm sure I'll be okay." Now, who sent him in there? Was that Thomas in the white vehicle? It was like an insurance scam. The way that the white Yukon crossed in front of the bus. So a couple of people went to the hospital, and it thwarted our trip. So we got out and went into McDonald's, and we had a sign that says "Donate to the birthday girl." And there was a black guy in there who bought my daughter and I sandwiches for her birthday. I said, "Why would you do that?" And I made a short. And later in life, his picture came up as somebody who did a PPP loan in my name to open a trucking company. And I don't know these people. So they're passing around my information and spirit cooking me in several ways. They don't care about the condition of my children and I and how we live. They're just using our information so that they can live a good life. And so I've been casting judgment on people like that because in the Bible, the Creator said, let's see, message retracted, otaku. Welcome to the live. One person, no likes, not a problem. This is primarily just to document things. The hackers are already next door, probably over there in that white Dodge Charger in the Jamaican people's yard. So this right here is really for YouTube. And if I need to go to court, when I go to court, my intellectual properties attorney can get it because the hackers, they work real hard to make sure I don't get my payments from YouTube. I don't control my YouTube studio. And is that on my eyelid? I do not get any money from YouTube. So they're still trying to push the narrative that I am an insane, crazy, homeless, whoring, drug addict, which that's insane. But if you don't know the truth, I guess they can toss anybody in your face and sell that narrative, especially if you're dealing with 757. When I said that, if you're dealing with a corrupt court, the 13th Judicial Circuit Court has proven itself to be corrupt. And let's see, let me drink the rest of my aloe here. And you're dealing with corrupt judges, corrupt attorneys. Now, this is about the second gallon of aloe that I've drank. And this ends my aloe cleanse. So the next thing I will do, if the gang stalkers and hackers don't stop me, is buy coconuts and start eating the flesh of the coconut. And I'm talking about the white coconut. The there's the green coconut where it has the jelly in it. And then there's the dark brown coconut that has that thick white hard meat in it. And I'll just start eating the meat of the coconut. And I do that until God tells me to stop. And things are kind of backwards this year, this cleansing season. Last year, I didn't get a chance to do the cleansing season because things were just really crazy. Wait a minute, I forgot a step. Now, I'm drinking this. Wait a minute. I'm drinking this. And this says it's 98 point, okay, 99.8 aloe strength, right? You see that? 99.8. Not open yet? Okay. Okay, so say 99.8 aloe strength, but to me, this one right here is the absolute best. Okay. Now, I bought this because my child had a cold, and I tried to make the child take the gel out of here, but they were not having it. So I ended up bringing it with me. Let me see. Can you see it? This right here is highly effective. Now, I keep hearing rumors about aloe having latex in it, this and that. And I don't know. But when I do it, I take a knife and you see here, cut it straight down the middle. You have two halves. You take a spoon and you just dig that gel out and eat it. Eat it until you feel like you need to stop. Okay. And that's how another way you can cleanse your body. So I'm not going to stay on here long. We are up and moving and trying to make some things happen. But I did want to say a couple of things that's been coming across my mind. And one in particular, I was embarrassed to share, and I'm trying to make sure God wants me to say this. Do you want me to say this, God? Yes. I keep getting that my granddaddy, Lindsay Atkins, definitely was a Mason. My grandmother, his wife, my grandmother Melva Atkins, had a payment book that I have, and where they had to make their dues and payments. Now, my granddaddy Lindsay, I remember always sitting in his lap and Tom, greedy gut, greedy gut, greedy gut, Tom, greedy gut, greedy gut, greedy gut. He made little nursery rhymes and stuff for me, and we would sit on the porch and he would tell me stories about olden times, is what we called it, when with a nickel you could get like a two big jacks cookies, a RC cola cold in the bottle, and something else. But I love listening to his stories over and over again. What I'm getting now is that I was allegedly molested by my granddaddy at the age of 10 times in 1 year, from 10 to 11, and that was it. So I want to ritualistically kind of delve into the studies of, I want to say, the Masonic Church, but I don't think this is because he was a Mason that he did this. I think somebody somewhere was a part of dark witchcraft. I don't think that's a normal practice for a Mason. I think that is witchcraft. And so maybe that's when they started siphoning my destiny and energy away from me at the age of 10. So if you all know anything about this, and you can maybe suggest a book that I could read, or God has all knowledge. He can give it to me. The reason I'm hesitating is because when you start getting information from people who are into witchcraft, they cannot help but being cunning and manipulative. It's just a part of who they are, mostly because I believe they have attached themselves to demons, or they allow demons to walk in and out of them and use their body to do demonic things. So you can have a person very sweet, kind, loving, generous one moment, but if they need to make sacrifice, if they need to feed that demon some blood, if they need to feed the demon a body, that same very nice and gentle person can now be an antagonistic person who is now pursuing you and trying to actually kill you unto death. And this is why I train children that people ain't shit. Everybody ain't shit. Your mama, your daddy, your grandmama, your granddaddy, your pastor, your judge, your doctor. ain't shit. If you allow yourself to see them as an elevated person, then you could become a sucker and get sacrificed. The Word of God says, try the Spirit by the Spirit so that you may know. And the reason you're trying the Spirit is because this body can host many different spirits. So today you might be hosting this spirit. Tomorrow it might be hosting that spirit. So you got to always check the spirit. Don't look at the body and be like, oh, that's my mom. She loves me. She this, she that. And I have to tell my children this harsh truth. Mothers kill their children. Children kill their parents. Okay? So doctors kill their patients. Patients kill their doctors. Judges, take bribes to sacrifice people and not give them justice. So you always have to be checking with the spirit. When I was going to the church last Thursday at Amazing Love, when I came out the block, I didn't light an incense as I usually do to clean the air. Um, and kind of just open up my way, move the negative spirits out of the way. I always do my little prayers and things and call on the angels to go before me, be behind me, and all around me. There was a guy, he looked kind of short. I have shrunk down to probably 5'7". So when I say short, I mean between 5 feet and 5'5". Okay. He had on an oversized hoodie, so I couldn't see his face. He was on the same sidewalk that I was on, so I crossed over. I was debating on walking in the middle of the street. Whenever I think I'm in danger, sometimes I make a spectacle of myself, do things that are a little outrageous to call attention to myself so that if something happens, at least people will be able to say, yeah, there was this crazy lady walking in the middle of the street. So that brings attention to me, and maybe people will even record me walking in the middle of the street, and they'll catch other important pieces of forensic evidence that can be useful to avenge me in some way. So I crossed over to the other side, and that person took about 10 steps. And when they saw me cross over to the other side, they turned around and started walking back the direction they came from. And it took me a little time to query God and conclude that they were coming to do me something. So I'm always dropping gems for the children. I do not do much of anything to help grown people because I don't feel like it's really worth my energy or time for the most part. Every now and then, God will give me a grown person as an assignment, and then I obey God and I give them the information. But children, don't walk down the street, down sidewalks, close to people where they can reach out and stab you, inject you with a needle, because that's what keeps coming up in my timeline. I don't have AIDS, but they have lied and said I do have AIDS. So they want to inject me with tainted AIDS blood. And if that is not evil and sinister, I don't know what is. And so I keep saying, well, God, at what point are they going to take responsibility and just say, we lied, we stole your money, and confess the things that they've done? But this is what I realize. Once you get into a frame of living in a fraudulent way, it's kind of like going down a slide. You might try to, grab the side of the slide and plant your feet on the slide to crawl back up. But gravity and the shape of the slide and the momentum of your body weight is taking you downhill. And it's really, really hard. You need pretty much a miracle to climb back up that slide backwards. And so I realized that these people are pretty much goners. It's just a matter of how God is going to take them out, whether they're going to prison, jail, whether they're going to commit um, Okay, so I couldn't say it. So, what replacement words do you want me to use? Whether they are going to remove themselves from the earth, whether the Creator is going to allow their spells and magic to boomerang and come back to them and remove them from the earth, or whether their coven will use them as a sacrifice and remove them from the earth. So these things are not given proper credit because people believe in accidents and incidences. Most of the things that are happening in this realm are constructed. Very few accidents occur, but because we have been given TV to distract us, now we've got the internet. So you don't ever have to be plugged into the reality of this spiritual world that you live in. You can live in a Truman Show of many different kinds. You just swipe through TikTok or go watch YouTube and you can live in somebody else's Truman Show. We don't ever have to really plug into the reality of life. This is a spiritual existence that we're living in, and we don't give it credit. Yeah, no, we're not even taught about our surroundings. School does not really teach you anything about your surroundings. And church is what, 1 to 2 hours a week? So if you don't have parents that love you enough to plug you in, or somebody in your circle loves you enough to plug you in, you're walking around here as fodder. Yeah. So many people are like, well, why won't they help the homeless? Why don't they, go ahead and open up a hotel or some of these buildings and put the people in there? Because they use the energy and trauma of those people to feed their demons. How can I explain this? Now, you gave me a great analogy last week and I didn't record it, so now I have to try to recollect that information. Let's see. Will the baby analogy work? No. All right, God, you're going to have to give me an analogy. The next time you return it to my thought process, I will do everything in my power to record it. I was going to give you an analogy that I saw on YouTube maybe 3 weeks ago. There were twins that were born. One baby they were saying was dead, and the other baby was doing good. So they laid the dead baby in the bassinet next to the baby that survived so that that baby could say goodbye to its sibling. And the energy of the live baby went and resurrected the dead baby. So both of the babies lived. Yeah. So it's like maybe you're feeling sad and you say, I'm going to go talk to my friend. She always makes me feel better. So you come to my house and you say, oh, I'm just so sad today. And I say, well, cheer up. God loves you and da 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 da. And you don't see the energy move through the air, but we're batteries. So I lift you up. Now, you don't pay me a service, like you go when you're thirsty and you buy a bottle of water, you might buy some pineapple juice or orange juice, and you have to pay for that before you can pop it open and drink it, right? Like this. I had to go to the store and buy this, go to Walgreens and find it on the shelf and then pay for it before I can partake and benefit from that. But when people don't understand the value of having positive people around them, they use them. And that's what people were doing to me. That's why I look like this, because they have been sucking off of me And I'm talking about like 50 people. And I don't know how many governmental agencies have extrapolated my good energy to uphold their whatever department. So I'm sitting here looking like this because I did not know my value and worth. But there were people around me, even people that were sent to me to come and suck me dry. And I would be like, wow, I'm so tired. I'm so this, I'm so that. But I would replenish myself. And then they would come back and suck again and suck again. Now, when they decided to sacrifice me unto death, several of them wanted my body parts. And so they had to get me in the hospital in order to do that. Now, you're talking about a person who's an allopatician and why did I say an allopatician? Okay. Divine Creator, I ask you to please cut cords, Cal Trump contracts, known and unknown, return to sender. All hexes, all curses, return back to me, my essence, my energy, and my power. Put up a barrier and do not allow them to influence my thought process and my tongue. I said allopatician. And I went through the Red Cross and got the certified nursing assistant CNA training as a parent and then employee of Head Start. I have over 1,000 hours of training. I got my national CDA, and we had to keep up with the CPR and the first aid and bloodborne pathogens and a whole bunch of trainings you have to do every year. So I have thousands of hours of training through Head Start. And I have my team training, techniques for effective aggression management, quest for quality customer service through Teletrip when I was working for Mutual of Omaha selling flight insurance at the airport. We exchanged in like 120 different currencies, airside B or A, I can't remember. That was 1994. And it is now, 2025. That was a lot of years ago. And even if you don't keep your, go back and recertify yourself, that training is still within you. So it still counts. At some point, I decided I wanted to become a homeopathic and naturopathic and follow the Ayurvedic way of living. So I kind of abandoned the allopathic path, which is your white coats. You go to the doctor, that's your allopatician. They tell you this, they tell you that, right? And that's why we're sitting out here looking like this. Because I said, I didn't take care of my teeth. That's just the way it is. I'm going to have to live like this because when you put foreign things into your body is constantly fighting against that foreign thing. Let me give you an example. I was forced to have a C-section with my twin pregnancy. May 26th of 2004 at Morton Plant Meese Hospital in Clearwater Beach, Florida, where I was gutted like a fish and my twins were taken out of me. My son was 6 pounds, 7 ounces, presenting as a footling breech, allegedly. I don't believe them. I think they wanted to cut me so that they could take something else out of my body, maybe even put something in me. And, they didn't really have to cut me to chip me because they have chips the size of a grain of rice. So I felt like they really wanted to put something inside of me that would emit something and maybe kill me over a period of time, or a larger type transmitter where they could gather information and not just know where I was, but be able to hear things and have synapses inside of me that would give them detailed information. For many years, there was a pain on the right side of my body down near where my fallopian tube would be, and I always felt like they left something inside of my body. Intentionally, though. What happens when you leave something inside of the body? Your system fights to remove that thing, to break it down and get it out of your system. And if you don't move it, generally what happens is you end up with a, where's my magnet? There's something on the side of the building. I really feel like it's a energy weapon. And what happens now, they try to fight against me giving you all free information, but the information belongs to God. And if He has it rolling off my tongue, that means He wants you to have it. And so I have collected a bunch of magnets, and I use the magnets to try to interrupt their frequencies. And I don't know if it does anything. I have copper. I grab my copper, and I am trying to break their energy weapons. I don't know enough about the anatomy of an energy weapon, but when I walk up to this door to come into the house, all of a sudden there's this great surge of energy that hits me in my femur, and it just starts aching on the right side of my body. So I said, Lord, what is going on? Let me look around and see what's going on. And I see this light on the side of the neighbor's house. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe some kind of way that's an energy weapon, or it's connected to an energy weapon. When I did my research, I was trying to find out if energy weapons can be connected to cell phones, because people kept coming up to me with their cell phone in their hand, and then I would start feeling that surge of energy throbbing in my leg. And I started connecting it to something that looked like an energy, something that looked like a cell phone. And with that research, I found out that they can connect the energy weapon to a cell phone. So I said all of that to say what I am trying to, what I'm trying to explain to you is something that I know, and I use the expression time and time again. But right now, I'm having brain fog. I can't say what I'm trying to say, which makes me feel like they're either, collected up and chanting. I'm alleging that there's several people that have moved to this neighborhood as a result of me being here, because they're supposed to have already killed me. And that's why when I look and I see myself, even though I don't even recognize this person, I'm very thankful to be alive. So I have to accept that I have allowed this to happen to me. I have not been paying attention. I have been disobeying the Creator, and as a result, I let them bring my life all the way down to this point. And if I'm going to pull myself back up and live, I have really got to become very, very deliberate and pay attention to every little thing, because these people, these clusters, these covens, their full-time job is to take people down, break their lives down. They do it mostly with love bombing and gaslighting. Hi, how are you? Oh, you're so smart. You're so pretty. You're so cute. And so when people are complimenting you, you don't think, excuse me, you don't think that they're lying to you, not generally speaking. You don't see that person as a threat, generally speaking. So they disarm you in such a way that they have total access to your energetic field because you see them as a friend. Now, as I have been looking back over my life, it's like, yeah, that did feel fake. I mean, I heard them say those things, but it didn't seem authentic. Where's my coconut oil? It didn't seem authentic. Let me see if I can grab this coconut oil and it probably fell on the floor. But my dry lips are annoying me, and since I'm sitting here, I might as well. Well, let's do some aromatherapy. I don't know if you all saw the clip where I was in the eye mall trying to find myself a cologne to purchase. But and then they sent the security guards to follow me. They sent Ronnie. Um, Ronnie and I went to school together at, let's see, Armwood or Van Buren. I can't remember, but he was hiding behind the poles. He was like, they're twins, Ronnie and Lonnie. Ronnie and Lonnie, I think. And I was like, hey, come here. That's my classmate. Let me go talk to him. And he kind of like ran. But the old African American male that stood at the counter, he just kind of like stood guard, which I recorded it. It was kind of funny because if I were going to steal, I would not. First of all, I would not do it myself. Okay? That's number one. I'm not going to put myself in harm's way. If you're a genius, you don't put yourself in harm's way. Can I say what I was going to say next, God? Okay. So if I were going to be a thief, I would get some really cute, preppy type Caucasian women to steal for me. I wouldn't do it myself because there's a certain look that people have and they get a pass in this life. The cute little petite Caucasian girls that wear Abercrombie and Finch and Hollister, they don't follow them in the store. I mean, they could literally go grab items and walk up to the counter and return them and get gift cards. And they didn't come in the store with anything. They just grabbed a couple of things and said, I want to return this. Do you have a receipt? Oh, no, I can't find a receipt and whatever. And then they will return it for them because they believe that they're telling them the truth and they believe that they would not steal. So if I were going to be a thief, that's how I would steal. But I come into the store and I present myself in my state, which is, you see, haggardly, got, white dog hair in my unkept dreads, right? And I look, you know, several years unkept. And some people may perceive this to be several decades unkept. So when I present, they're like, oh, let's follow her. Not to mention when we come, we usually have a bag with the solar generator. And that represents a person who does not have a car, even though I have several vehicles. I don't know where they are. Have a 2011 Dodge Caliber, Mango Tango in color, license plate JDJN53, gifted to me by Lawrence Alexander Cambridge. I have a 2006 Buick LaCrosse, black, gifted to me by my firstborn child. And I was saving that car to give to my twins. And I have a 1999 Astro van, my flea market van. Now, all of these vehicles disappeared with a bogus eviction by A Plus Properties June 2nd, 2022 from 6010 North 32nd Street, Tampa, Florida 33610, from my childhood home. There were four Tampa police officers in the yard, four Hillsborough County Sheriff officers in the yard. This was spearheaded by Officer Saey, a 6 foot plus African American male, bald headed, fair skinned, who stood at the door and told me that we have to get you up out of here. I called my supervisor checked, and Chief Judge Ronald Figueroa did not grant you a motion to stay. Probably lies, but that's what happened. Now, Eric Allen allegedly was the owner of this A Plus Properties, which was really a fraudulent, fake company. I want these gray hairs gone. I wish I could find my. I'm still a little bit vain. And when I glance up at the recording, I want to kind of look okay a little bit. So I'm trying to prep a little bit. Okay, so that looks kind of okay, even though I didn't find my coconut oil to oil my lips. I keep lard for the dogs, and maybe I can put this on my lips. I was in there. I'm jumping around because I feel good. I guess that's why I'm in a great mood right now. 4114. I feel good. So I just put perfume oil on my lips, and it's a little shiny. Still looks dehydrated. I drank coffee for my midnight snack, like 16 ounces of coffee, and that kind of offset my poochy, vibrant look. Okay, so this is what I drank for. I had tuna fish sandwich for dinner and some chili beans, and then I drank half of this. So I found my coconut oil. Yay! So I'm going to massage some coconut oil into my. I knew it couldn't have been far. I like to keep the dogs' coats moisturized with coconut oil whenever they go out into the yard. When we bring them in, the fleas like to try to attach themselves, and that's always a nuisance. So just bear with me. I'm gonna just liquefy this coconut oil, heat it up a little bit, and massage this into my face. So let me go back and just finish a couple of things I was saying. When I went to the mall, I was looking for a male fragrance because I was feeling like I needed to be in my emperor self to deal with what I was going through. So I went to find a male fragrance that I liked. And I went to the counters. My favorite fragrance is Issey Miyake, and they didn't have Issey Miyake. So because of the way they treated me there at those perfume counters, I decided I'm not bringing these people no $80, $150 to buy perfume. I am going to order essential oils and perfume from a company that I used to buy from years ago. So I ended up getting this. This is Burberry's. This is a fragrance like Burberry's body. And that's another one of my favorites. So I decided I would buy that instead of buying from the perfume counter at the I Mall or any other mall for that matter. So that was around my birthday time, and usually people are going to be benevolent to me because I guess I ask everybody. I try to wear like a birthday button and say, hey, it's my birthday month and I celebrate for the whole month and I need you to donate to me. So my children gave me money for my birthday and I was very happy. I bought myself a bicycle. Hold on. See back over there? That's my bike. Bought myself a bicycle. and parting the trash bag. The dog tore it open. When I get up in the morning, there's mess everywhere because one dog likes to just tear shit up, tear up cups, tear up the cardboard boxes. Just, I don't know. So when I get up, I have to sweep, and it usually doesn't take but about 3 to 5 minutes. It's not a really big deal. Still a little bit puppyish. And I bought myself a Adidas USF hoodie, which has zippered pockets, which is really great because when I'm riding my bike, things used to fall out of my pocket when I run for the bus. I dropped many phones over the years because there were no zippers on the pockets. So even though I didn't like it, I bought it from Plato's Closet. It was like $17.01 after they added the tax. And what else did I get for my birthday that was significant? I bought myself a monthly bus pass, and that made my life a lot easier because I could just get up and go where I wanted to go when I wanted to go. So now we're dealing with the bus pass issue again. They have gone digital, and you are being forced to buy a Flamingo card, or you pay $2 every time you get on the bus. If you are a student or disabled and you have, I think it's that red, white, and blue card, which is like a is that the Blue Cross Blue Shield card? You get a discount. So it would be $1 one way. But if you get the digital Flamingo card, then you can pay $2 for an all day pass if you're a student or a disabled person, and maybe elderly, I don't know, or $4 for an all day pass, and you can ride unlimited buses, 46 on the timer. So we have cash, but then we don't have the money on the card. So every time we get on the bus, they require $1. And sometimes we're on 6 different buses. My daughter, one of my girls, and I, we usually try to travel together. So you see, that's $12 a day. But if you subject yourself to this digital flamingo thing, then it's $2 for me, $2 for her all day. So you see, $4 if you do the digital card, and $12 depending. You pay every time you're on and off the bus if you don't do that. So I really thought I would have my inheritances by now, my Department of Labor check by now. I thought Liberty Staffing would at least pay me for the 4 or 5 days that they didn't pay me for. Or I don't know, I thought I would have some of my money now, but even my, can I say that, FEMA check. But this neighborhood, I told you about the people moving here to steal from me. And then my sister Alva, she was sitting around here laying in wait for something. Letitia, I haven't seen her in a while, but she sends people over this way. And basically, they just pay people to have them monitor me, pay the mailman to give them my mail. So if I have something coming to me and it's coming through the mail, it gets intercepted. And it's just a real chore to get any sizable money in my hands. But because I am currency, I'm going to always draw currency. I'm going to get what I need. So I will get what I need. And we just continue to move on. And God is dealing with those persons that, where you going, girl?
I'm gonna go back out to see if I could get the cat a plate of food, maybe
Okay, what time is it?
one something
Where are you going?
down the street.
Up there?
Yeah,
They told you to come back at what?
no, I didn't see anyone outside, but like I did see like a car driving into the parking lot.
Okay, well, follow your unction. Follow your unction. Okay, so that's basically what that is. 49.49 on the timer. So it's really interesting to watch people who have a full-time job of tearing down people's lives so that they can have their spoils. It's really sin and a shame and pathetic to watch, but if it were not happening to me, I wouldn't even believe that this kind of paradigm existed, but it does. So I'm always trying to give little nuggets of truth to the children. Trust no one, not your parents, not your children, not your cousins, not your grandparents. Nobody is worthy of trust, really. Nobody is worthy of complete trust. There are situations and scenarios where you have to give some trust to the people around you in order to get things done. But even though you feel a sense of trust, always be on guard, understanding that this fleshly body is weak and feeble. And if there's not a strong spirit residing in that fleshly body, the flesh will be, it will succumb to many things. So that's what I really want to say. This flesh will succumb to many things. Okay. So that closes that off. I went to the mall, they were following me, and I invested in a company that I support as opposed to going to the mall and giving them a lot of money. And
You have a notification.
that closes that off. Let's see. I hope I'm still on live. Sammy, liked your story. Okay, thank you, Sammy. And so back to what I was talking to you about. The reason that I don't do the bloodletting and participate in operations and basically try really hard to make sure I take care of my body so that I don't have to be subjected to allopathic procedures. When they cut my womb open, they had to double stitch me in the inside. So, how many layers is it? I can't remember. One, two, three or four layers. But when they cut open that last layer and pull the children out of your womb, the neonates out of your womb, they stitch that layer with permanent stitches. And then the outer layer of your body, they use staples. Now, sounds insane, right? They done cut completely through your body. And then they put staples in you to hopefully keep it together and keep the infection out. And this is how I feel like they don't really respect you. And then you can lay there for 3 days. They kick you out after 3 days. I asked if I could stay for 3 more days, and they told me no. So I ended up getting a hotel on the beach up the block so that I could come and breastfeed my twins. Now, that's what staples. I'm walking up and down the beach to get back to the hospital, to the nursery, to breastfeed my children with staples holding that womb together. That's crazy, crazy work. And you can Google on YouTube the process of C-sections and see what I'm talking about. So those stitches down in the inner part of my womb are still there. When there's something in your body that's considered a foreign object, your white blood cells are always on alert trying to figure out what is this foreign object in here that we have to fight against and get it up out of here, which creates like the pus. And what's the term that has eluded me? All right, cherubim, seraphims, ophiriums post up north, south, east, west, hover over top, all the way around. Divine Creator, I ask you to cut cords, calcium contracts, known and unknown. Return to sender all hexes and curses. We call back all of our energy and power. Everything that is ours by divine right returns to us peacefully, prosperously, and is protected. Protect my mind from these energy weapons, from these spells and magics. Return that back to the sender, the witch or warlock that prepares the work, the person that requests the work, the person that pays for the work, and all adjoining maleficent benefactors. Return it back to them 100-fold. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. And I claim my brilliance. I claim my mental clarity. I claim all of the information that I have exposed myself to, all the hours of studying, all the classroom hours, the training hours, that is mine to keep and hold unto eternity, to travel with me through every lifetime that I live. That is mine. They cannot have it. They cannot block me from it, is what I am declaring. And so that's annoying me because the expression that I'm looking for has not dropped down into my thought process as of yet. Okay, so maybe you all can help me because I cannot go to Google and pull it up while I'm on live. And if I can, I don't know how to do that. So, endocrine system, lymph nodes, T cells. When your body is fighting against your body, lupus is a what kind of disease? I'm strong. In the name of Jesus, I ask that you would please fight against the witches and the warlocks that are fighting against me and my natural intelligence or my earned intelligence. I've spent most of my life in school learning things, so I don't have a lot of people to talk to and use my erudite vocabulary. So when they kidnapped my children from that same hospital, and maybe I was already kidnapped when the children were in my womb. That was right around the time that my father was dying, and I was taking care of him on hospice, and my sister Ava was helping me. My sister Alva, she tried to help, but every time it was time to change his diaper, she just would throw up. She has a weak stomach. And Anthony, He was in Opelika, Florida, traveling back and forth, and his thought process is put them in a nursing home or the hospital where professionals can take care of them. And my philosophy is take care of people that you love because, you know, I mean, in institutions, unless you're spending a lot of money for like almost one on one care, it's kind of like cattle care. And it still has its place and it still is a blessing. Um, After my dad died, I was not doing very well. I mean, emotionally, I was just really devastated because I thought I had everything covered. It's like I am juicing and I'm feeding the juices to him through the feeding tubes, and everything's going well. What I did not anticipate is that my dad's been drinking since he was 15 and he's now close to 65. So over 50 years he's been drinking. So why do you think all of a sudden you're going to come along with your juicing, your new age theory, and you're going to heal him? Even though his body was improving, his liver was improving, his mind still wanted Seagram's gin. So when I got him up healthy enough to sit up in the bed, guess what he said? I need you to go and get me a fifth of liquor. Go to ABC. ABC is now Cheers. It's on 37th or 39th Street in East Hillsboro. That used to be ABC Liquors. And I cried like a baby when my daddy asked me to go get him some Seagram's gin. Because I'm like, Daddy, you're detoxed. You done been through the DTs. You ain't shaking no more. You are a new man. Now, why do you want to go back to your habit? And I did not understand that Seagram's was like his lifeline. And I cried. I mean, I cried from the bottom of my soul. And I didn't go get it for him. And George, my friend George Powell Jr., was trying to explain it to me. He was like, well, give him a reason to live. After breakfast, give him a little shot glass of gin. And then after he eats his lunch, give him a little shot glass of gin. And after dinner, give him a little shot glass of gin. And I was like, no, I'm healing my dad. I'm healing my dad from being of alcoholism. And I was just unrealistic in my expectation because I did not understand. And if I had it to do all over again, I would have went and got him that gin bottle. And just like George Powell Jr. said, give him a little bit this time, give him a little bit this time, give him a little bit this time. Because even though he had been maybe detoxed for like 60 days, 50 years versus 60 days, there's a big difference right there. You understand? And so,
They open the gate at like 2:30, I think he said, but they start like feeding at like 3.
oh, okay. So what you got in there?
Since I got a sandwich, I ate one of the sandwiches. See
Okay,
what comes up.
go ahead and eat it.
Okay.
Yeah, good for you. God opened the door to make it so that you got something. That's beautiful. Um, on Wednesdays, usually Angola wants to go up to that other church, but at least you got something to hold you over, so that's good. And I'm gonna go to the grocery store, get some more cans of tuna, and I don't know what else we can eat without having to cook it. Peanut butter and jelly, maybe. You eat peanut butter and jelly, Seth?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get some tuna and some peanut butter and jelly. We opened our last 3 cans of tuna last night. That's what we had for dinner. Okay, so if I had it to do all over again, I would have went and got him some Seagram's gin and set it up there so he could see it, so that that would have given him an incentive. I wanted to just never allow him to drink again, and I guess that kind of takes a person's drive to live away. Even if he was in the hospital, he's going to be thinking about that Seagram's gin and wanting to get out to get to the Seagram's gin, or have somebody sneak in to the hospital some Seagram's gin. Now, my granddaddy, my mom's dad, Doug Starks, Willie George Starks of Route 1, Cordell, Georgia. Cordell, Georgia, just near Griffin, Georgia. Pike County. Let's do that. Pike County, Georgia. He died because somebody snuck into the hospital tobacco. He wanted to smoke. Was it tobacco to smoke or that chewing stuff? One of the two, and allegedly that's how he died. Now, it was probably one of his children that wanted to obey his wishes, and he died doing what he wanted to do, which was smoke. But he had a tracheotomy in his throat, so I don't even know how they managed to make that happen. And that's what I heard. Do I say more? No. So when people are addicted to things and they end up in the care of allopathicians at a hospital or hospice, these are all still mostly allopathic in nature. They forbade the use of alcohol or cigarettes, let's say, to give them an incentive to want to continue to live and cut back and live in moderation, as opposed to not have it at all. But we know, well, I know because there's this girl named Sky that used to get a ride with. I used to have to take her to the methadone clinic up the street. She had to go every day and pay $16 for some kind of, what do they give you when you're, so she must have been addicted to heroin, but she was trying to stop. So there's something that you take if you're addicted to heroin. I think it's called methadone. And I think it's like a syrup that you swallow. But she had to have $16 every day. And I would take her up there on fumes, because at that time I was no longer working at Trinity Hospital during the fire watch. And Anne let my children be outside. She was supposed to be watching them for me because I worked from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And the neighbors called DCF because the children were outside playing 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. It's amazing how you think people respect you and care, and they set you up. You're one place trying to do something good to lift your life out of a hole, and they are sabotaging your life, which is basically the same thing that happened with me here. The reason I'm here, even though my name has a lot of money attached to it, I don't get a dollar. I mean, they have gone so far as to create fake power of attorney papers, and people around me who know that I'm sane and competent, absolutely brilliant, have gone to court to attempt to get conservatorship over me so that they could take money that is intended for me. And I am my children are me and my children, and go off to Hawaii and live a good life, right, John Waldron? Should I have said that? So people are sitting in their little cubbyhole houses or wherever and feeling like, I need another shot at life to live the way I want to live. And they don't mind using you to live the way they want to live. If Mr. John would have, every time I came to his house, say, come on, let's work on this. We're going to do this. I'm going to help you get disability for your children. I'm going to help you get child support from these men for your children. You know, you have a car, or we'll get on the bus and go over there and talk to them. We'll go do this, go do that, and help me stabilize my life further. They went behind my back and created basically a coven to take me down and strip all my resources from me so that it looks like I'm incompetent, and then reallocate the resources to other people. For example, we're going to find a way to apply for child support, and instead of sending the child support to her with the children, we're going to send the daddy the child support so that he and his mama can live better. And then we'll lie and say that the child is with you. Or we'll create a fraudulent marriage between you and her. She doesn't have to know. And we will pretend like she lives in the house with you and you don't have to pay child support because you're married to her. And for the other baby daddy, we're just going to say that that child is in his care and custody in Pennsylvania, even though she's walking around here with the children from homeless pantry feeding program to church pantry, struggling to keep them clothed and bathed and fed. Your family can benefit off of that. And that's what they got going on. So these children have been with me since I pushed them out in the bathroom. I gave birth to Angola on February 25th, 2007 at 6010 North 32nd Street, Tampa, Florida, 33610. In the bathroom after I left the paper corner. Letitia can attest to you if she would, if she's even alive. She got involved with some real dangerous people. She might not even be on this side. But if she is alive and if she tells the truth, she can tell you she dropped me off on Sunday. I asked her to pay Alfred for my papers. I wasn't feeling well and I was going to knock off early. I always stayed on the corner until I sold all of my papers because my grandmother, Irene, at that time had my twins, and I was giving her $100
You have a
a week
notification. You have a notification.
to help take care of my twins. They were at her house at 2913 East 20th Avenue, Tampa, Florida, 33605. I think they stole that property and put it in Toy Andrea Smith's name, which is my cousin Toy. They don't mind stealing things that are intended for you to take care of their lives. Now, cousin Toy ain't got no small children to take care of. She ain't still raising no children. I'm still raising two of my children. And the twins need to be under the same roof with me so that I can lead and guide them and help them through a technical degree or college so that they can earn a living wage and be able to go out into the world and be a productive and competent citizen who can take care of him or herself. But when they evicted me June 2nd, 2022, they evicted four of my children. And, we got separated. Excuse me. But they don't care about that. They just want to look competent and look like, they're living a good life. They don't care if they stole something that was given to you. They don't care about those things. They don't care if you and your children are from pillow to post. They don't care. Basically, they feel like shit, you need to marry somebody and just live with them, and that should be it. Or, shack up with a man. I guess that's what they think. But my point is, she was living in my grandmother's house with a man, her boyfriend Vincent, and a dog. Instead of giving me what was supposed to be mine and letting me and my four children bunk up, and she could have stayed in the room, one of the rooms shared. I mean, it's a whole house. They prefer to put me out on Skid Row, and then they live, this facade of a life, not even married to the man. But, that's the way unhealed people behave. So, what can you do? Where is the money that Auntie Nazarene left me? Toy, did you pay for Fahim's wedding at, what was that, St. Pete Beach, Clearwater Beach, with the money that Auntie Nazarene left me when she died? I know I'll probably never get the answer to that, but especially since y'all paying court clerks and probate attorneys to take my name off and put your name. People are really sick. And I cast judgment on you guys, and I hope and pray that you reap what you sow times one. Is gazillion a word? I think gazillion is not a word, but zillion is a word. How about that? And I release any hurt, pain, and anger that might try to crop up so that I can live a good life and be a good mother to my children and be a good citizen and a good leader in this society to help other children. Have to let that anger and hurt go. So not much really rose up in my heart just then. That's good. Um, well, I've talked about a lot. Upshaw, I want to meet you and talk to you. Maybe you can fill in some blank spaces. And Mr. Atlas, I don't know if you're still alive, but if you are, I want to talk to you as well. Joyce and Red, if you all are still alive, I want to talk to you. Miss Daisy, if you're still alive, I'd like to talk to you. Anybody that has information about my past who is going to tell me the truth, you know. A lot of people are pushing these false narratives. Um, Anybody connected to the Scarborough family? Miss Daisy, wait a minute. My mom's friend was Daisy. Daisy Scarborough. Her name was on the light bill for many years at 2212 East Mallory Avenue, Tampa, Florida 33605. Is Miss Daisy? Miss Daisy was related to Mr. Scarborough. My grandmother married Scarborough. Anybody from the family of Scarborough? And I know he had an ex-wife and two children, I think two girls. So anybody from that lineage, if we could have a conversation, I know that you all might be very angry at the thought of Irene Scarborough. She created a lot of angry moments in my life too. But in her passing, she did right by me and she blessed me handsomely. I haven't received that blessing yet because family members came together and said, "Shit, that bitch don't deserve this. She don't deserve nothing. So let's do everything in our power to steal it from her." I called my Auntie Cookie, well, Rosemary Starks Frazier, and asked her for Gideon Henley's number or his wife Catherine Henley's number. She never gave me that. Then I asked her for Ethel Kate Fambro's number, which is her sister. They have different mothers, but the same daddy. My granddaddy Doug is at the Kate Fambros dad, but her mom is Iola. Yeah, Iola. And then Auntie Cookie or Rosemary Starks Frazier, Happy Starks, and Eve Starks all have, I think, the same mama. And Doug Starks is their daddy. And then my mom, Dorothy Jean Starks, her brother Johnny Frank Starks, and Nazarene Andrews or Andrews Nazarene Starks all had Irene Parks Scarborough, her married name. That was their mama, and then Doug Starks was their daddy. Look at my eyes. You can't tell I'm bucking my eyes. I don't know what that is. But they didn't have paternity tests probably back then because when you look at my aunties and my uncles, you be like, nah, that look like three or four different baby daddies right there. And they don't like me because I speak frankly and I tell what might be the truth. They like to sweep things under the rugs and leave the children confused and disheveled and die with the truth instead of telling you the truth, even if you have to write a letter and wait until you die. And there's letters that they were supposed to give me, but they haven't given them to me. And a lot of beautiful jewelry that they were supposed to give me that they haven't given to me, and property that they were supposed to give to me, and stocks and bonds that they were supposed to give to me that they haven't given to me. I haven't been able to benefit from my inheritance because family thieves are trying to split up the spoils without me. So this is why they probably evicted me and tried to make it seem like I'm missing. They don't know where I am. I'm crazy. I just walk the streets. I prostitute. I do drugs. And that's probably why they had to make it look like the children live with their fathers as opposed to being with me. Because they figure she ain't gonna know. The court won't know. We'll just lie to them. But God, but God. And even if they find out, we'll just pay the judge, pay the clerks, and, continue to push this false narrative. But God, God is so awesome and great. And it appears that they have been poisoning me for many years. I caught on just in the nick of time. You see me, look at me. You see that? Now, I don't have any pictures to put next to me to show you the difference so that you could say, damn, they really effed you up. They really did. But I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm, mm. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But God. And He is the reason I'm still standing. So, in the name of Jesus, I come before you right now just to say thank you for life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Thank you for peace, prosperity, and protection. I ask that you would go out into the world and into my scenario and cast judgment on all the people who maliciously lied and took down my life and took down the lives of my children and did spell work against us and bore false witness against us and stole from us. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. I want judgment to come your way so maybe my children and I can get back to a sense of normalcy. Right now, we consider ourselves to be indoor camping, and we're very grateful to Johnny B. Smith and Johnny B. Smith Sr. and Johnny B. Smith Jr. and Thomas. You can stop lying, telling people you're taking care of me. Now, they probably did create like a fake rental agreement And they might even be presenting fake receipts. I mean, he might actually give somebody the money, but I guarantee you, if you follow the money, it's going back to him, or maybe they split it and say, well, I'll pay you half to say, to tell this lie and to put your life in danger, because when they find out that you are participating in perjury, conspiracy, it's a RICO crime, and it's punishable by federal time, which is day for day. And I'm amazed by how many grown old people will participate in crimes against people. I mean, bear false witness against people's names just for a little bit of cash or some new rims, or their house being pressure washed and painted, or their church being pressure washed and painted, or, perks that they can put on a credit card. And most people are buyable with just a little bit of money. I mean, they ain't giving them no major money. And it's amazing to me. Now, Mr. Fred lives next door. Mr. Fred is probably the one who is signing off on this fake lease, because Mr. Fred owns most of the houses on this block. He owns half this block, and I think one more block to the left. He owns those houses. So, or maybe his sister Sonia is signing it in his name and he might not even know. When I asked the lady how Mr. Fred was doing, she told me Mr. Fred was dead. Divine creator of this fine universe, are we talking? No cloaking, no lies. Is Mr. Fred dead? And I keep getting that Mr. Fred ain't dead. But she doesn't want me to talk to Mr. Fred, so she told me he dead. And he's probably sick, and so he doesn't move around much. So, if somebody tell you a person is dead and you don't see him, because Mr. Fred, he usually sits outside and sips his coffee, and people pull in and talk to him and get out and sit in the lawn chairs and chew the fat. That's the way I used to do. Pull up and, hey, Mr. Fred, how you doing? Sit down and chit chat. If Johnny wasn't here when I came, I'd sit down and talk to Mr. Fred. So Mr. Fred doesn't sit outside anymore. And so he could be in the house, he could be in the nursing home, he could be in the hospital. But every time I ask God, is Mr. Fred dead? I get no. But she told me he was dead. So who do I believe? Her or my conversation with God? Now, they could have faked his death and collected an insurance policy. They could be a part of the insurance scam. I don't know. I just know every time I ask God, is Mr. Fred dead? I get no. So as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Fred ain't dead. And I haven't gone prying into their legal affairs to try to find an obituary or anything, because, I mean, when they fake your death, they create a fake obituary also. They probably pay off a medical examiner or somebody who's posing as a medical examiner. Probably a dead medical examiner. They done took that person's name and they're pretending to be that person. If it's a whole Ponzi scheme, you got a fake medical examiner, you got a corrupt funeral home to push the obituary through, or you just put some fake stuff on that legacy.com. I don't know how they do it, but I know it's quite a few people that done collected insurance policies on people that ain't dead. So I guess they were intending to do the same thing to me, or they did collect an insurance policy in my name saying that I was dead. And so, being that I'm alive and filing complaints with the Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA, and now I have three other people filing on my behalf because they were following everything I was doing. So I had to get some covert help. Things are moving along quite nicely. And the more they investigate, the more crimes they find. So I keep saying to the FBI, well, you can't at least give me my stimulus checks. I mean, my goodness, how long am I supposed to go without my money? So at one point, my sister was getting my money. My cousin Toy got some of my money. And when I reported that you gave my money to the wrong people, the accounts were supposed to be frozen. So are the accounts still frozen? Or did they file some more bogus paperwork within a corrupt system that gave them access to my money again? My sister, she's the kind of person, she'll get your children to put lies on paper and go to court and try to get your money. And for a long time, I thought, no, my children wouldn't do that. But shit, bills, bills make a lot of people do a lot of things. And people can talk themselves into believing this is not so bad. I mean, my mom is always going to make it, and I got this house and this car and these kids. And, I can still, break her off a little money here and there and she'll never know. And that's why I had to come to the conclusion ain't nobody shit around this piece. And you got to remember, I'm the mama, but who is the daddy? And how does the daddy move? Because for boys, that's going to, am I okay to be saying this, God? That's going to play into the scenario, quite frankly, who the daddy is. Even my Angola be up under me all the time. But in the last 3 months, it seemed like Angola is working with somebody else against me clandestinely. Now, this is her phone, even though it's in my name. So when she and her friends are talking and they are creating these fake books and stuff, the things they're saying could be perceived as me doing it. You understand? And for a long time, I thought she was letting Alex go through the phone and mess with my YouTube feed because I did a 25-part series when we were at Dr. Twiggs's building, 3304 East Hillsborough Avenue, Tampa, Florida, 33610. And like from 15 to 25, it was deleted off the phone. And I'm like, well, how's it deleted? So many things were being deleted off the phone. And I sent to Christopher Hauser the, what was that? The foreclosure papers and the eviction notice. And then when I went back to my email, my text message to Christopher Hauser, the will was gone. It was deleted. So it's like, this seems like something people have to have the phone in their hand to do. And, you know, it just felt different because Angola and I sleep in the same bed together. So, energetically speaking, it started to feel different. And then one night, did she leave the door unlocked? And I was like, wait a minute. I was having all kind of crazy thoughts. Is she leaving the door unlocked so somebody can come in here and kill me? Maybe they done promised her millions of dollars. We're gonna come in and kill your mom, and we're gonna give you this amount of money. We're gonna give your sister this amount of money, and you can go live in Paris and da 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 da. And I started having all these thoughts, and it's like, And then I told her what I was thinking. I just try to tell people the truth. And she was like, Mom, no, I wouldn't do that, Mom. I said, okay. I was looking at her. I wasn't convinced, but um, it kind of saddened me to have to go through that with my child. And when we leave sometimes, we always leave somebody here. I kept seeing a truck that looked like Abby's father, Abraham. And I was like, do they wait until we leave here? Even her grandmother been through here a couple of times, Martha. And I was like, do they wait until we leave and then come up here and talk to Abby? Or is Abby, talking with them behind my back and lying to me? And I thought, wow, I'm having all of these questions about loyalty and trust. But when I ask Abby, she's like, no, nobody comes up to the house, Mom. Nobody. I don't let anybody in. Zach, let me see, Zach of all trades, he came after the storm with a flyer about assessing the roof and wanting to do the repair on the roof. And he left the flyer, but she said she didn't open the door. The window was open. And a Verizon person came. A person came up here saying he was Mike looking for Johnny B. And one other person came. A chubby, friendly faced guy with 2 flats of water came. And I thought, I sent him away with the water. I told him I've been poisoned before. I need water, but I ain't gonna drink it and I ain't gonna give it to the dogs. I ain't gonna even put it on the floor. So you just take that back with you. And that's been pretty much it. But when you have a lot of money and people know you have money, you have to really be careful. And you probably shouldn't let people know you have money because they might have cars and houses and, nice clothes and nice cologne, and you think they're doing good, but they really are on skid row and trying to figure out how they're going to keep this thing going. And then you come along looking the way you look, half near unkept, and then they want to take your bank. Small bank, take big bank, even if that means taking your life or setting you up for a crime like they tried to do me. She sell drugs. And allegedly somebody died in the back of Dr. Twiggs's building at 3304 East Hillsborough Avenue of a fentanyl, I think, overdose. Well, I don't do nothing with drugs, so how does that concern me? So when Hillsborough County Sheriff Officer Stein and Tampa Police Officer Pepolowski, which I don't think that was a real name, but I recorded it all. It's on my YouTube. Um, should I talk more about that? No, nothing about the incident. Well, I don't sell no drugs. I ain't give nobody no drugs. Yeah, people are pitiful. And instead of laying that shit down and starting over and regrouping, they will kill, set their children up, put cameras in their children's room, and sell subscriptions on the dark web to make money to keep the charade going. And that's all very vile and despicable. And you can look at people and see if they're prone to extremes. If you see them, can I say this? You see somebody 500 pounds, that's more than likely a person that will do anything to keep him shit going. You know how much abuse you have to do to press your body to get that big? And I know a couple of people like that. Thomas Stewart, I mean, he's losing weight, or I didn't really look at him too much when I went over there for my birthday to ask for the gift of truth. And I stood at the counter and I was only there for about 15 minutes asking questions. Natalie Renee Carnegie, she had to be, I don't know, I can't guess people's weight by looking at them, but size 22, 24. She was a big girl. That's a lot of hurt. That's a lot of trauma and all of that. And there's other extremes. People who chain smoke, chain drink. There's other extremes. People who chain have sex. When you see people in those extremes like that, those people, man, I prime for murder, setting you up like that. But because God takes care of babies and fools, I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. One tooth at the top. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I am Aileen Dorothea Atkins, born November 24th, 1970, to Dorothy Jean Starks Atkins, who married Arthur Atkins. Now, these people changing names and everything. So called, I got a mama around here somewhere, another mama. They don't mind lying and removing names off of your birth certificate and putting other names on. They don't mind to do that, especially if they're paying off the person that's receiving the documents. If you paying off the clerk at the courthouse, or you paying um, the probate department to receive these fraudulent papers, they don't really have to worry about it because they got it covered. So they don't mind to give you a different mama and a different daddy. When I was praying and asking God, well, who are these fake parents? I was getting John Waldron as my fake daddy. And who's my fake mama? Ethel Kate Fambro, Rose, what is her name? Rosemary Fraser. So Ethel Kate Fambro was my fake mama. That's my auntie, my mama's sister, in Griffin, Georgia. She got two daughters, Marvis Fambro, who I think was faking like she was me at one point in this scenario. I got like 20 doppelgangers. So different scenarios, many times they would switch up people. Marvis Fambro was the one that was supposed to supposedly have done some kind of porno or been recorded having sex, and that was supposed to be me having sex with somebody to consummate a fake marriage, which it wasn't me. And her daughter Lisa Fambro, she was the one that was in the room when my mom died. If my mom died July 14th of 2006, Lisa was the one laying on my mama chest, crying and crying. And then when they called us into the other room to meet with the doctor, that bitch was still in there with my mama. Her, the registered nurse Denise, and a lady from a church. I didn't know that lady. She was just in there with my mom singing and singing and singing. Yeah. So Lisa, I hope you ain't have nothing to do with my mama dying. I really do. And you, if you did, you pray and ask God to make sure I don't ever find that out. Okay? Yeah. Everybody's gonna reap what they sow anyway, but I don't know. People are pitiful, and you need to be following people. You need to get your private investigator. And people can be corrupted, people can be paid off, but this is a step in the right direction to hire a private investigator to follow people, spy into their conversations, and listen to see what kind of people you're dealing with when they leave you. Okay, honey, I'm going to work. There's a movie called Alone, and this lady, her husband, would leave to go on business trips, but what he was really doing is going and kidnapping, raping, and killing women. That was his business trip. We can't afford to trust people these days. Psychosomatic. All right, well, is my mind going to remember Do some deep breathing. Maybe that'll bring it up. All right, well, I did a little deep breathing, and I'm still not coming up with the medical term that I wanted to share with you regarding your body fighting against things that's placed in your body recognizing the stitches as a foreign object and fighting against it. Same difference when you get the implants. Mm. Putting that screw down into your bone, I think will eventually cause the corrosion of your bone. And eventually it's going to fall apart. I haven't gotten the opportunity to talk to many people that had the implants, but you, I think, will suffer from bone loss eventually as a result of having that titanium screw down in your bone plate. I'm not trying too hard. Just relax. I feel like I'm taking a test. I used to have test anxiety. I would know this stuff, but I was so afraid to get it wrong that my mind would sometimes like blank, go blank. Anthony Robbins had a couple of really good tape series. Awaken the Giant Within was one that I would listen to over and over and over. Can't remember the name of the other one that I bought, but they help you to make peace with uh, the fears that you have cultivated through the years from the way your parents raised you, the way you were treated in school settings, community settings, and um, gave you tools to re-establish good habits regarding how to deal with fear, how to deal with anxiety. And I wish I had, well, I can probably listen to it on YouTube now. So, lupus is when your body fights against itself, lupus is what kind of disease? It's one word, and I can't think of it. All right, well, I'm going to get off live and look it up. Maybe I'll come back and just say it. So, maybe, let's see. I've never tried. Let me see. Okay, autoimmune disease. It creates an autoimmune disease where your body starts recognizing something within itself as a foreign object or enemy, and it fights against autoimmune disease. That's what I was trying to think of. So I did it. Well, I didn't do it, but Google did it. So God bless. Pray for my children and I. We're still begging for a billion prayers. Um, Pray peace, prosperity, and protection over myself and my children. Thank you, and Hotep. 1 minute 49, 1 hour 49 minutes and 35 seconds.